Hi, my name is Prakhar Pandey. I am from UP. I belong to the city Gorakhpur. My formal training has been in law. I did my undergrad and master's in law. My master's was in environmental and natural resources law from Terry University. And I've practiced for a year at NGT, then taught for 2 years, and then I'm here. It was mostly I was trying to transition to another sector from core legal to something else. It sort of fell in my lap, to be honest. I was scrolling through and I came across the notification. Then I had a friend from SEPT. I asked that person, how's the fellowship program, and they recommended. I think it was mostly the structure of it. When I read about the program and I saw the structure, it's something that I had not done before. Uh, During the undergrad, during the masters, none of it was focusing on practical aspects or on-ground research, and that was something where I was limited in to a core legal space. So I thought maybe this will be a great experience to go through. Expectation mostly was that I will be able to successfully transition to another sector, get an interdisciplinary understanding. It was not, I would not say it was mainly coming from understanding of urban issues per se, but mostly how the law intersects with the urban. Yes, in some ways, yes, in some ways, no. But mostly, yes. I mean, I already was in the law, policy, governance space, but not looking at it from an urban lens. So, yes, in terms of deeper understanding of the urban issues, definitely, uh, especially through the field work that we did. I got to see, I basically got a new lens to see how to look at things and what to look at, what questions to ask. So yes, in terms of those, yes, there was some deeper engagement. It did it coming from a legal space. Yes, a lot of it, although was not legal, and I am also from an environmental background. So especially the lectures on ecology, urban governance, housing. To that extent, I mean, I had not thought about housing at all before. So, and trying to put the law into all of these spaces, looking at these layers from a legal lens, as well as looking at how the policy can be shaped from it. Yes, it did. It definitely is an experience. I mean, it is. It's really, it's a mixed bag of feelings. But so basically, for me, it was like being thrown back into college. Like after working for 3 years, again in this peer learning space, the living arrangement of it, you living with the peers, working with them in groups. That part was a little difficult for me to sort of cope up and come back to this sort of space where you are learning. I was teaching before and now I was learning, so it was different to be at this side of the class. But I had never learned like this before. So in terms of that, the experience was really good. It did help. I mean, before coming here, I was not very comfortable with, say, numbers or data, things like that. It used to scare me. So basically, here I've tried to. It was simplified for us. I mean, even looking at data became a little easier. So in terms of that, yes, software skills definitely. In terms of even communication and presentation skills, you do learn a lot from your group mates, like the teammates. And so my presentation earlier would be very structured. It would be like this from leading from here to here. And after coming here, I basically got to understand how to visualize it in a more simple manner and communicate it more effectively. So that has been good. It would be a very common answer, but Practica was the best thing. Again, based on what I was saying, in terms of developing the observational skills, analytical skills, and we started working. So basically my group worked on rental housing, and it was again something that I had not even thought about before. I've lived on rent at a lot of places, but never looked at it from the So like that, looking at rental housing from that angle. So Practica for me was the best part of it, to be honest. Could be longer, I feel. Maybe a year of the fellowship could be much better. One more thing that it's sort of a con, maybe not for everybody, but personally, I coming from a work, I have work experience, and then so the internship bit of it is a little challenging for me. Going back to an internship, so I believe there could have been the structure could have been, you could have separated the people with work experience and with no experience. So that could have helped. So, like I said, we're working on rental housing, and it didn't start there. I mean, there were 3 terms of practica. So the first term was simply observation, and there I was following a drain. Literally, I was doing resource geography, and I literally followed a drain, and in some sense, so that basically that exercise led me to a criminal case, and again a legal sense came in, and it was very much a Bhavesh Joshi moment for me, to be honest, finding out a criminal case by following a drain and looking at waste management. Then we moved on in the second phase. We tried to look at why do people live where they live in RT Nagar. That was our primary question. And so sort of the sense of understanding that came was that most people live on rent and mostly in not so adequate places. So then we moved for our final presentation. We completely deep dived into rental housing, looked at it from the lens of a legal agreement, what it perpetuates and what it does not, what practices emerge out of having an agreement or not having an agreement. So I mean, yeah, there was it. So that the rental housing bit, and combined it with the elective that I chose on housing, all of it made sense. I mean, it came to a full circle when joining the practica and the learnings from the elective. This is again a limitation for me, probably, that I would ideally not want to go for internship, but I understand why an internship is also necessary, because you're trying to transition to a different space, you're leaving your formal training behind, and you're trying to go to a different sector, and it's better to, it sort of acts as a cushion for you to basically land into another sector. So I think for some people it might work, for some people it might not work. Uh, Definitely it would have been more aligned with what I want to do. Uh, that is something that sort of I feel is limited in the internship structure. So I'm working on a project that's trying to look at social equity outcomes of energy transition. So basically, the shift that is happening from coal to renewables, although the shift is necessary, moving towards net zero and all those things, but what are the social equity implications of it on the ground? So for that, we are looking at several indicators such as environment, health, gender, what it does to. So basically, the outcomes that emerge out of this huge transition that is supposed to happen, that is happening now, and which will happen in the future. What basically, who is getting affected, which stakeholder is inhibiting it, where is it being problematized. So something like that. We are doing stakeholder interviews, transcripting them, coding them, and trying to come up with a definition of what social equity would mean in this context at a city scale. In terms of understanding, in terms of soft skills, in terms of uh, observational and analytical skills, yes. I'm not very sure about what it has done for me to enhance my employability skills. Now, again, that is something that I'm still questioning and that I have to see where I go. Life at IIHS is amazing. We are literally taken care of for everything. I mean, everything has been right there for us. And the team is very cooperative. Every team that we have interacted with, every faculty, they're very approachable. The peers, I mean, this is also one of the most accepting and safest spaces that I've been into in terms of being able to talk about it, about things. And so, yeah, that way the experience has been good. Yes, I mean, I attended the Urban Arc Festival, and the sessions that were done there, those were great. I mean, of course, the relevance, I used to try to find legal relevance to it, but apart from that, after all of this was, I'd gone through the commons and a couple of electives. It had started to make more sense in terms of what I was hearing and how would I look at it now? Even if I go out in the city now, I'm like, oh, those are the BBMP tiles. Those are the BDA tiles. So I mean, in terms of that, yes. Again, master classes were very interesting. Couple of master classes, say by the ecology master class, or the classes that were done on activism and how to make that a practice. Those were really interesting, and they have definitely enriched my knowledge. I mean, don't come here because you are looking at it as a degree program, uh, or something that would help you get a better job. Uh, Come here if you want to experience something that you've never experienced before. Come here if you want to expand your formal training into something that can give you more, basically create more avenues for you to venture into.